Hey, you're tuned in to Live at 5. And before we jump into today's guest, I just want to remind you that this show is only possible because of the generosity and support of amazing people like you. Continue to support us by subscribing to this YouTube channel, clicking the link to donations and merchandise in the bio below, and by spreading the word about our shows. Thanks again, and enjoy. Welcome to Live at 5, and this is a very special edition of the show because Darcy and I have decided, for the reason that our special guest is joining us from France, to do the entirety of the show in French today. It's going to be a little shaky at first, but I think we'll warm into it. So, je m'appelle Giacomo. Et tu, Darcy?
Oui.
Oui, he says. Oui, in la toilette. Je suis le... Okay, we're going to just... we're going to pack that in right now. I'm just going to tell you
Parlez-vous anglais, Giacomo?
yeah, Darcy, we're just going to pack in the French because, did I ever tell you the story of when I lived in Montreal? I had a very, very embarrassing moment, and it was kind of the moment that I realized I needed to move, which was I did my master's degree in Montreal, and it was just an amazing city. And the one big regret that I have was that I never learned French. And it was funny because I thought I had learned French, until I got to the end of my
Pretend
degree.
French.
Yeah, pretend French. I was like, yeah, I watch French movies. I kind of know what's going on, subtitles, but no big deal. And so I put in, I put in an application to work at like a grocery store, the French grocery store, and it was a phone interview. So the lady called me up, and she started talking to me in French, and there, I just had no idea what she was saying. And I just remember, because I recognized her from the store. I used to go to the store all the time. She was a super sweet woman. She probably recognized me as well, but didn't speak any English. So she's talking to me on the phone, and she's asking me questions about, how many oranges can you shelve in a half hour, like that kind of stuff. and I just remember shaking my head and saying, I'm sorry. And she kept talking because she was trying to make it better. And I remember the phone call ended with me saying, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to hang up now. So I'm really sorry, but I'm going to hang up the phone. And then I hung up the phone, and I thought, man, I got to get out of here.
I'm just imagining you hanging up the phone and, like, in dead silence, just walking to your closet, putting everything into a suitcase, and just walking to the airport, hailing a cab.
Cue sad walking away music, So anyway, that being said, we tried. We gave it the old college try in French today, but I think we're going to stick to English. And luckily, our guest today, Bastien Bryson, is an English expert. He's passed his English exams with flying colors. He's been accepted to every English job that he's ever applied for. And we're going to jump right into some music from him. And this is actually a clip of him playing at Kansas Smitty's with our bassist Ferg Ireland and a drummer from New York called Jason Brown. And this is Taking a Chance on Love. and we're back live at 5 with Bastien Bryson, all the way from near Lyon in France. And thanks for joining us today, Bastien. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. You too?
Yeah. It's nice to see you.
You too.
Yeah. So we were just talking about how, you're kind of, I always think of you as the classiest piano player on the planet. Not so much because of the playing, but more because of your fashion sense. No, you're playing as well. And we were just talking about some of your influences and talking about people like Hank Jones and Ahmad Jamal, and then also Ellis Marsalis, who sadly just passed away. But can you talk about how you kind of got into those people and that style of piano playing?
The main reason is bass player in my music school was giving me some tons of CDs, and that's how I discovered pianist. And it was really pushing me to listen it very carefully.
Yeah, I understand, definitely. And you live in Paris. For those people that don't know, Bastien lives in Paris, but he's left to go down south, and luckily he's quarantined with a bass player. I think, did you capture this bass player, or is this somebody that did you capture him on the way down and say, you're going to be quarantined with me, we're going to have a band? Or is it a friend of yours from down there?
No, it's a friend of me from his own family.
Wonderful. So I think, should we jump into another piece of music, Darcy?
Yeah.
Just I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the music that I've gotten to play with Bastien over the years. We've done a few festivals together. We did the Marciac Festival last summer, and we played at the Underbelly Festival in London together, and we've done a bunch of things in between in Paris, etc. But luckily our friend Edouard, who's a great bass player and guitar player, is very he's very organized when it comes to getting things recorded and archived. So luckily we have this document. This must be 3 years ago, Bastien, don't you think? This Willow Weep for Me, it's 3 years ago, isn't it? So this is a tune that we recorded in a recording studio in Paris with David Grebil on drums, Edouard Penn on bass. I'm playing clarinet, and Bastien is playing piano. And this is Willow Weep for Me, that you might recognize from Billie Holiday and a whole host of others. So we hope you enjoy it. and we're back live at 5 with Bastien, whom we can hear even more clearly now. What's it like to be a jazz pianist in Paris, Bastien?
Well,
is it La La Land every day?
I don't know about La La Land, but it's been now 5 years I've been in Paris, and I loved it from the beginning, and it's really great to have so many musicians, and it's really easy to meet people because there is a lot of stage, a lot of bars. They book jazz events, and what I like also is it's really connected to New York because every week you can have bands from New York coming, and it's great to keep this vibe also.
Right. I feel like, it's funny you say that because, London is closer to New York in so many ways, distance and language. But actually, I do feel like your scene is more interlinked with the New York scene than London is. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it has to do with taste, kind of audience taste, or maybe it has to do with kind of arts funding, or it has to do with cosmopolitan. I don't know what it has to do with, but it's it's true what you say. And what kind of clubs do you play at? I mean, what are the kinds of gigs that you're doing over there?
Well, a little bit of everything, like you, I guess, bars, jazz clubs, and there's a club called Vino e Cucina. We played a lot.
I think that's where we met, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, many moons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that and jazz clubs.
Yeah. And we were trying to figure out where we actually did meet. I think it's probably been about 4 years, right? We've been hanging out.
Probably, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun.
Yeah. Getting old, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was saying before that we played at the Marciac Festival together, and I wanted to tell people our Darcy, remember we were talking to Jazz Kaiser about Ahmad Jamal, and I said I have an Ahmad Jamal story, but we never told it, and it actually involves Bastien. So Bastien, if you don't mind, I'll tell my side of the story, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Go ahead.
So we had a day off in Marciac, which is a beautiful rural French town that has a massive jazz festival every July, I guess it is. And we had a day off in the afternoon. We were just walking around, and since it's such a small town, we managed to find a restaurant that had a piano in it, and everybody was pretty chilled. So we kind of just decided to commandeer the piano for the afternoon. So we just took it over, and we were sitting in the corner of this restaurant playing. We must have played for an hour or 2 hours, whatever it was. Took a break, and then I was playing. We took a break. Bastien went for a walk. He went to get a beer. I'm playing the piano, and this guy comes and stands in the doorway of the restaurant. Was just open onto this courtyard, beautiful, sun streaming in, French rural medieval courtyard thing. And this guy standing there, this kind of very petite, older Black man with two younger people that were obviously friends of his, that, and I thought, oh, well, he's just come for the festival, but he was pretty old. And I thought, wow, he's got the same kind of demeanor, and has the same kind of hat and facial hair and features that Ahmad Jamal has. And that's so funny because, Ahmad Jamal must be 88, 89 now. And, probably doesn't travel much, but it's interesting to see someone who looks so similar to him. And at that point, Bastien came over to me, and he just said, get up, because I was playing the piano. He said, get up. And I said, well, okay, because I've been kicked off the piano more times than I've been allowed to stay, in my life. So I was used to it by now. So I get up from the piano and he sits down and he says, let's play Gone with the Wind, which I think actually, B, I learned from you because it's that Ahmad Jamal version. Bum, bum, so he starts in with it and we start playing. And I thought, well, this is great. I love playing this song. And we play the whole tune. And we finish, and Bastien, I said, Bastien, that was so weird. That guy looked exactly like Ahmad Jamal, and he just turned around and he said, that was Ahmad Jamal. And I said, oh no, and it's funny, isn't it, Bastien? Because I immediately felt very regretful that I hadn't gone up to him and said, kind of said all of these, one of my favorite musicians, favorite people to listen to, so many questions about the ensemble work and what were you inspired by, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a funny thing, isn't it? When you meet your heroes, sometimes it's better if you don't speak to them, or sometimes, what do you say to somebody like that? Did you speak to him? Did you say anything?
No, not at all. But I feel the same way. Like, it's good to just pay tribute to someone and just no need to bother him with words and you're amazing, I love you so much and everything. Right. We just shared a little music time, lapse time, and it was enough, and it was great.
Yeah, it's almost a compliment to him to play his arrangement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kudos to you on the classy move. I like that. Yeah. So maybe we should jump into another. You want to jump into another piece of music, Darce? What do we have? Oh, so this is this Pat Metheny tune. Bastien, tell us a little bit about this song because I've never heard it before. I don't know anything about it.
It's just a song I randomly found, and I was just thinking today, well, I should record little things and just mess around, and I just did it today and sent it to you. And so yeah, just a tune I like, very, very nice.
Before that raises a point, and there's something that I love about your playing and your whole kind of attitude towards jazz and music is that I can always count on you to find great songs. You always you're a repertoire guy. You showed me that Cupbearers song, which is that's a great song. You've taught me a lot of songbook tunes that I had never heard of. What do you look for in a song to make it interesting to you?
I think I will not be able to explain. It's just something. If the song is telling you a story and you like the story, I guess you like the song. But it's more about, it's really abstract. Actually, it's really, I don't know.
Do you mean the lyrics, or do you mean the?
No, I mean I don't really speak English, but I mean the melody. Really, the melody is kind of speaking words, musical words, and the story you heard. If you like the story, I guess that's why I like the melody. But I don't know. I will not be able to explain.
Right.
More.
Right. Well, all I can say is that you're very good at it, at kind of selecting repertoire, and I'm always interested in the songs that you choose to put in the set. So this is Elucidation by Pat Metheny, I believe, played by Bastien Bryson, and you're listening to Live at 5. Remember to subscribe to our channel and click and share the link in our bio below. This is Elucidation. and we're back with Bastien Bryson. That was Elucidation by Pat Metheny. I have it on good authority. I hope that Pat Metheny's not watching, but if he was, I can say this. I think it's amazing and suspicious that he's had the same hair for 40 years. I don't know anyone else who's had the same hair for 40 years except for maybe Burt Reynolds. And there's a reason for that as well. But we'll just stop right there with that train of thought. And so Bastien, you know, something else that you have an amazing ability to do, and I know that you do this a lot in Paris, is to play as an accompanist to singers. How is that? How did you work on that? How is that something that, you know, as a skill? How do you make space for a singer in a performance?
I don't really think about it actually, but
you just put the noise canceling headphones on and you just go into your own world.
It's more like I try to totally forget about myself and just I try to be the singer. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah.
So you try to, just to kind of put that in more literal terms, you try and have the singer's line in your head so that you can accompany it, you can improvise an accompaniment to it rather than right. Okay. Because I think it's a really unique skill to be able to improvise an accompaniment to somebody who's singing a melody, you know, and it's quite a vulnerable position for a singer to be, you know, I mean, jazz singing is not an easy thing. That's why there are so few good jazz singers. You know, you think about that and it's, you know, it seems like, well, maybe it's just really hard. And so I noticed that you have that sensibility to back someone up. And
that's really something I like.
Yeah, you've done that a lot, right? Is that a large part of what you?
Not a lot, but it's really one of my favorite things. Like just playing chords and to be listening, and then have the solo after the singer. It's just the best thing you can have, I guess.
Right.
What are some of the singers that you've played with, Bastien?
Say again?
Some of the singers that you've played with.
I don't have a lot of names right now.
You played with China Moses.
I played a long time ago a few gigs with her. Yes. Yeah. And recently with Veronica Swift also.
Right. She's a great singer.
She's a great singer. And Cécile Recchia in Paris.
Yeah.
And your roommate in Paris is a singer, right?
Yes, Melissa.
How is that? Like, do you get a lot of practice in having a singer around the house?
We don't practice a lot together. She has other music to perform, but yeah, many names, Etiquette, many singers. I don't have Nicole Rochelle also.
Right. What about Beyonce?
Well,
I know you're shy. I know how it is, you know. Actually, one time I played with Sam Smith. You didn't know that, Darcy. I played with Sam Smith. Yeah, it was because Ruben called me for the gig. It was a 14-year-old's birthday party, right? We played with Sam Smith. We played one song. And the hilarious thing was at that time, Shane was going around with this drum kit that he could take on the tube, right? You met Shane, right, Bastien?
Yes.
So he bought this drum kit for 20 pounds on eBay. That was one of those, it was one of those, you know, kids
those
drum
like
kits.
child's ones that has like one cymbal, one tom and one kick.
Well, exactly. The bass drum was about the size of, you know, it was like the size of a microwave, you know, it was like that. And it was, and he he shows up at this gig because he could put it all on one little like wheelie cart. And he turns up at the gig and he sets it up and the sound guy's just looking at the bass drum because this is like Sam Smith, you know, the biggest pop act in the world, right? And this guy's got a drum that's like that says first act in the worst like word art font you've ever seen. And, you know, this is the magic of modern PA equipment, because by the time the sound guys got through with that bass drum, it sounded like a cannon. But then, this is the amazing thing, is that in the sound check, the PA failed. So whereas the drum had gone from, it was, you know, they had gotten it to, and he's singing his, you know, all that, and then the PA goes dark, right? And it's just, it was like, it went from like, you know, cannon fire to Morse code, you know. It was like,
wow.
So anyway, that's yeah. I was going to ask you a question, Bastien. I and now I can't remember what it was. It was a question about now I can't remember. Shoot. Well, maybe we should listen to you.
Yeah, we've got a couple more tunes. So why don't you chew on that one, Giacomo, while we listen to
this is what I was going to ask you, and I'll ask you after this tune. This is Live at 5, and this is Bastien Bryson.
Let's do that.
With I'm Getting Sentimental. And we're back. Did we make it to the end of that track, or did we have a little technical malfunction?
Little hiccup,
but that's not a problem. I remembered what my question was for Bastien. And the question is, you know, I've been to your apartment in Paris, and you have a great setup there with your own piano. You know, you have a baby grand there, which is amazing. But I know that you practice drums as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as a pianist, why is that important to you?
I guess it's it's really simple. It's just interesting to have a deep connection, I think, with the drummer. I think that's probably the most important guy in every band. And
you told me you said to me once, you said I was the most important. I can't believe that you've chosen now to expose this to the world, you know. Very insulted.
Sorry, Jack.
That's why he didn't book you for the New Year's Eve show at Smitty's.
Oh my God.
And he booked Shane Forbes instead with his tiny drum kit.
You booked a drummer instead of me with the mini drum.
It was cheaper.
So why, you know, and you practice playing time, or do you just practice rudiments, or what do you practice on drums, and do you transfer
a bit of everything? Yeah, a bit of everything, and I try to hire some guys to play a little bit with me, and it's really fun.
When did you start doing that? Have you done that forever?
No, I mean a few months.
Right.
A few months. Okay. It's really new. But it's a good thing. I like it a lot.
Do you think that's something that a lot of piano players do to kind of create more of an intimate connection with the rhythm section, or what?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. That's something people do.
I know Will Barry, who's a piano player in London, amazing piano player, who's played with us before. I know he plays a lot of drums, but I think it's it's an interesting discussion to, for those who think of the piano as a percussion instrument. I mean, maybe, do you think of it as you think of it as that?
Really?
Right. Because it's very rhythmic, or like, do you see your role as a rhythmic role, or?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I
think that's interesting, but I'll always try and book you on piano first. I hope you don't take offense.
I'll
always book you on piano first, and then I'll call you for drums as well.
Give me 2 or 3 years and we'll talk again.
Okay. Amazing. So thank you so much for coming on, and it's great to see you, and it's great to hear you, and have a dose of your special sound. So I hope you weather this this thing out well, and I'm glad that you're safe out in the country, and hopefully we'll get to play together soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
thank you.
It was a pleasure seeing you.
So that is our show for today. This has been Live at 5, and remember to subscribe to this channel and click on the link below in the bio. You can watch all of the previous Live at 5 episodes on our YouTube channel. And we have a playlist going with all of the tracks that we talk about on Live at 5. It's in the link in our bio. We have one more tune from Bastien and his quarantine bass player buddy. And this is called This Can't Be Love. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again for listening to Live at 5. Remember to subscribe to this channel and click on the link in the description to see where you can donate, sign up for a Smitty's membership, or buy our records and merch. See you tomorrow. Thanks again.